everything. We capture it. My voice is cracking. We record it and then we read the lip. So a fan in the audience in the stands said, they're playing the game and they look up to the fans and they talk. And a fan said, "Everybody wants you back," to Joe about him and Melissa. And Joe mouthed, "We're back." Those were the exact words he said. "We're back," nodding his head. And then he offered up a wink, like, "We're back." Then he took his hand and held it up to his mouth, like, "Shh," like, "Let's not tell anyone." All right, Joe, not the most, it's innocent. Someone's asking you this, but people have phones everywhere. This is the world we live in, and we all know that. So someone recorded this, and the fan said, "Everybody wants you back." And Joe said, "We're back," nodded his head, gave a wink, and then said, "Shh, like, don't tell anyone." Well, Joe, you just told everybody. So, look, no surprise. Is anyone surprised that the Gorgas are back? I mean, that was pretty much a done deal. But when Andy says we're figuring it out and we're close, seems like the Gorgas already know that they're coming back. Is this why Melissa quit the podcast? Because she has the sprinkle cookie business and she doesn't need the money? Maybe. We talked about earlier that last week, that maybe earlier this week, I can't even remember, the days are blending together, that um, this report that Melissa is ready to work with Teresa no matter what is not necessarily true. There's no truth. She said fake news. Seems like Melissa is holding and saying, "I won't work with her." I think Melissa is back, and I think Dolores is back. I think Teresa's getting her own show, and I'm starting to think Margaret's back. We'll get into that in a second. Are the Bravo execs mad at Joe Gorga? Let's not forget, this is the second time Joe Gorga has spilled something. I believe it was in June or before June. They started filming Wife Swap in June. I guess in like May or maybe late April at his comedy show, he let slip that him and Melissa were definitely going to be part of Wife Swap. And I said, "You better be careful, Josephina Gorgasita, the little guy. You guys know my friend. Bravo doesn't like when you spill the secret, so just cool it. It's not going to cost you your job. That's the good news. Joe and Melissa are back. And yeah, I'm sure Bravo execs are not thrilled with this, Josephina Gorgasita. And you get fines. You get all these fines. Like when Deandra was on this podcast, she talked about a fine. Kelly Dodd talked about the drunk wives matter. They get fined. So I bet you, did Joe get a little slap on the wrist? Did he get a fine for this one? Antonia, and then someone, the fan said to Antonia, "We want you on Next Gen our NYC. If a Gia, Junior G, my friend Junior G, if she could do it, we want you there too." And Antonia said, "Oh God." And Joe stepped in, the daddy stepped in and said, "No, no, 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 she's too nice." So didn't think Antonia was going to be there anyway. Seems that she's definitely not going to be there on Next Gen. She's too nice, says the father. They probably don't want her on reality TV. And Melissa and Joe are back. How do you guys think about that? Shocked? Not shocked? I'm not shocked. I still think, again, it's going to be Dolores and maybe Margaret, especially if they announce it at BravoCon. I don't think they're bringing Margaret not to have her back. Well, Margaret cannot hold her tongue. Do you guys know my friend Marge, the Sarge? Well, the Sarge, has jumped in on the action. And she has posted a picture in her house, her newly remodeled house, or at least it looks somewhat newly modeled. I would never have this picture of a witch, but she has a picture of a witch. Let me hold it up for those of you watching on YouTube. She has a picture in her stairway of a witch, and Margaret is standing on the stairs and she's making the same face as the witch. And she says, "Current mood, wink, wink," with a wink emoji. And she says, hashtag the witch is back. Sounds like Margaret is also confirming that she is back on RHONJ. Gorga mouthed it, "We're back." They're definitely back. And now Marge wants it out of the action, and she knows better. See, this is Marge's a very smart woman, this Marge. Not going to take business advice from her, but very smart woman. She's not going to get the fine. Let Joe Gorga and Melissa Gorga go and get the fine. And sorry if I sound stuffed up, but it just is what it is. But let her. I can't not do a show, people. So let Joe and Melissa get in trouble. Margaret does this with the witch, and she says, "Current mood, wink, wink. The witch is back." Now Margaret can't get in trouble. She's like, I never confirmed I was back. The witch is back. I was off social media for 3 days, or whatever bullshit she's about to say about this. That is how she gets out of everything. Very smart woman. She never goes down. She never does it direct. She will not punch you in the face direct. That is for Teresa. That is for Melissa. She'll do it roundabout. Her and Dolores are two very, very crafty ones. So seemingly, Margaret also confirmed that she is back. Dolores is playing it right. She always does. Just shut the fuck up. You don't have to prove yourself right to a bunch of people. If you get what you want, you don't have to go and change the narrative. You can let people, the point of being an adult is letting people walk around with whatever false narrative they have of you. If you're really back, Margaret, and you got that big, hefty 6-figure paycheck, again, for another season, girl, you don't got to prove nothing to no one. Why are you doing this? Stop it, Margaret. I'm trying to help you. And you too, Josefina Gorgasita. His is innocent in the sense that, okay, he's just an idiot not to realize that people have phones. And if you mouth, we're back, everyone's going to be watching. Margaret is now intentionally playing games. So for everyone who likes Margaret, you're doing cartwheels because she's back up to her old tricks. For all of you who are disgusted by her old tricks and the finstas and the underhandedness, here she goes again, okay? And everyone's now talking about Margaret being back. You stole Josefina Gorgasita's moment, Marge. What is wrong with you, girl? Okay, good luck to you, Marge. Paige. Let's hold off on Paige for a minute. You know what I wanted to talk about? Our good friend. I have notes here if you're watching on YouTube. Mr. Sandoval, our good friend Tom Sandoval, has quit. He has quit. Tom Sandoval quits. Well, this is the rumor. So apparently, I did the show about how I would just love for Kristen and Tom to head to, it's for Kristen. I would love for Tom to head to the Valley. I don't think Schwartz is heading. I don't think Lala's heading. I think Scheana's heading, and I wanted Tom Sandoval so bad, so bad. But I mean, again, to me, to Scheana is the perfect villain to have Tom go back and be redeemed. I mean, look, how many of you have dated someone in your 20s or early 30s or teenage, whatever it was, when you're just a nightmare? You're a nightmare of a person because you're not mature. The other person is a nightmare of a person because they're not mature. And then you come together later and like, I'm friends with my ex-girlfriend from high school. Now, I also don't want to fuck her anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that she has a husband and 2 kids, it all worked out. But we're really good friends. But imagine 20 years later, 15 years later, a 40 something year old Dodie and a 40 something year old Tom. She has the baby. She has the man. She has a fiance. Tom is in love with Victoria. I would just love to see an adult Tom and an adult Kristen, really. And imagine Scheana and Kristen getting in the